we go, guys. In 5.
Jaguars.com coverage of the 2021 NFL Draft on Friday is presented by Bono's Pit Barbecue, and the Jaguars have 2 selections in the second round, starting with Tyson Campbell, cornerback out of Georgia at number 33 overall. And then they come back at 45 and get the tackle out of Stanford, Walker Little. Full team coverage, J.P. Shadrick with John Oesher, senior writer, Jaguars.com. We will react instantly, as we always do, to the picks. And the Jaguars have made 2 here in the second round. We are awaiting the press conference also of Walker Little. You will see and hear that on Jaguars.com coming up. Let's start, though, John, with Tyson Campbell, corner out of Georgia, a 5-star recruit coming out of high school in Plantation, Florida at American Heritage. Teammates with Patrick Surtain II, who was drafted last night. His dad, Surtain's dad, was the head coach down there at American Heritage.
They can cover a little bit down there.
I think they played corner pretty well on that team. And obviously those guys went to their respective schools and played very well. Tyson Campbell, now the 33rd overall pick.
Well, it's back to speed. I mean, this is – you sort of knew when Urban Meyer got here, based on the way his college teams played, that he was going to emphasize speed. This kid can run. There has been some initial buzz on Twitter about what does this mean for C.J. Henderson. I don't think it means anything for C.J. Henderson. My understanding is this is adding talent to this position. He can play nickel. I would expect him to start out at nickel. Remember, JP, in the NFL these days, it's not a 2-person cornerback position where you're filling right and left corner on the depth chart.
That's right.
You need 3 guys. Guess what? You need 4 guys who can cover in this league. This is 1 more guy who can cover in this league.
Yeah, I mean, you're at least a nickel, 60% of the time?
Yeah,
65%?
nickel's a starting position in the NFL these days.
Absolutely.
Let's be honest. I can be honest with you, Jay.
Well, I can handle that. Yes,
yes, you can.
Thank you. So, so Campbell, the pick at 33. He's a quick one, too. Runs in the high 4.3s at his pro days, if you're into pro day timing. But he does have that track speed. He talked about it in his press conference a little bit earlier, what he actually timed in some of the actual track events in his past as well. So we're looking forward to seeing him in teal. And then the Jaguars make a selection at 45 with the tackle out of Stanford, Walker Little. And he is a monster, John, 6'7", 313 pounds, and he opted out this past season. He had a knee injury that shortened his 2019 campaign, so it's been a little while since we've seen him in action, but you got to go all the way back to 2018 where he had a fantastic season, first team All Pac-12.
Yeah, with apologies to the guys in the NFL Network, because this is where I heard it and you start thinking about it. Every pick so far, blue chip, 5-star guy. He fits this. My understanding is he was the number 1 rated recruit in the country coming out of Houston Episcopal High School. I think it was 2017. Clearly has the pedigree. He was all conference at Stanford as I believe it's a sophomore, if I'm getting the years right.
That's right.
And then he played 1 game as a junior, and then opted out this past season. So the question becomes, you've gone 2 years without playing football, but clearly has incredible ability to miss that much time and then be in the top 50 players chosen in the NFL draft. Fans and observers wanted them to address tackle. They did it.
So the question is, what will this mean for Cam Robinson? He's on that 1-year franchise deal right now.
Well, it sort of feels like hasn't played in 2 years. Swing tackle wouldn't be ridiculous for this guy for the first year. That's just the initial impression 5 minutes after the pick. That's your first thought. I don't think you would necessarily get rid of Cam Robinson, a 4-year NFL player with vast amount of experience in an offensive line that is being put together to protect a rookie quarterback. I don't know that you necessarily automatically throw somebody at left tackle who hasn't played in 2 years. It feels like something where you would want that year for him to get acclimated.
They brought the band back together, so to speak, and kept the band together on the offensive line, the starting 5 or so. So now they're just adding some pieces to it. They still have, remember, Will Richardson's still around and on the outside, has played some tackle and some guard here. So there are some guys here. Last year they drafted the guard out of St. John's.
Mm-hmm.
And
Ben Barch, right.
Ben Barch, who's still a development project, I think, over time. And Tyler Shatley re-signed again on the interior. He's almost Mr. Jaguar now. So they have guys that not quite Brad Meester length, but, hey, it's getting there. So they have some familiar names there, and now they're adding another piece who, obviously with that size, if he has that skill that he can find a couple years removed, I think that, as you said, that'll be the big question. What does he actually look and feel like when he gets on the field after a year and a half gone?
Well, I think the thing you look at is he's clearly never not produced when he's played. He was all conference as a sophomore in really the only action that he had. He started 13 games that year. You would think that he is fully recovered and fine from the knee. At a young age, a season-ending knee injury, which happened, 2.5 years ago, yep. You wouldn't think that's holding him back. COVID-19 sitting out really shouldn't hurt you in the draft process. Many guys in this draft did that. The great unknown, you don't know how he performed in the last couple of years because he didn't. So, as you said, that's the great unknown. But watching him in those clips, that's a big human being, JP.
It is, and certainly here's the case. You're looking at it, the offensive lineman currently on the roster for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and you go through the starters from the interior: Linder at center, and of course A.J. Cann at right guard, Andrew Norwell at left guard, Jawan Taylor in his third year coming up at right tackle, and then Cam Robinson, as we mentioned, is on the franchise tag this year in his fifth year in the NFL. So add Walker Little to that group. Same thing at defensive back. A lot of guys in the secondary for the Jaguars, and you can add Tyson Campbell here, the 33rd overall pick. And you can really never have too many talented corners, certainly, in the NFL.
Well, if that's true, they're testing the theory. There's a lot of them on that graphic.
That's right.
But here's the thing. You also have a new regime. So, yes, they drafted some corners last year. Deeper in the draft, they've got some guys, but you don't know how this regime feels about those guys. I don't know whether they like them or dislike them, but cornerback is such an important position, as we alluded to at the top of this. This is not a case where I don't think you feel good about even going into the season with just 3 guys who can play, because if you go in the season with 3 and you lose one, all of a sudden you're down to 2 and you got nobody to play nickel. This pick to me with Tyson Campbell feels like we need premium frontline talent at the cornerback position, and then we need some depth to go with it. Sidney Jones had a very good year last year when he was healthy, but he's had that Achilles that it bit him in Philadelphia. It cost him the last 6 or 7 games of last year. This is not a knock on Sidney Jones, but I don't necessarily think you wanted to go into the season thinking he's going to last all 16 games. You hope he does, but you have to protect against it. And as we talked about throughout the draft, it's all about value at this point and speed and blue chipness, if you will.
That's right.
They've clearly gone after that early.
Size and speed with him. I mean, he's 6'1",
yep.
Tall cornerback, and can run right around 4'4", depending on what stopwatch you believe.
I think the blue chip element is fascinating here too, JP.
That was an idea we thought about. A lot of people did stories leading into the draft of what guys did Urban Meyer recruit in college. Well, pretty much everybody on the list so far.
Well, and I think that'll be pointed out, and people look at it positively and negatively. It's clearly a case where Urban has recruited these guys, has looked at them, knows well what they're about, and there are a lot of guys like that. He's not going after every one of them, but he's got working knowledge of these guys, and that was supposed to be a strength coming in that he's using.
Walker Little meeting with the media right now over Zoom, and we'll listen in live.
You got me there. I'm still working on the AirPods, so hopefully the audio switched over. How's it going, Walker? First things first, how are you feeling health-wise? What has this last year and a half or so been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 100%. I'm as strong and as in shape as I've ever been. And so I'm really ready, for the NFL for this next step. And I mean, the past year and a half, it's been a lot of training. It's been a lot of, football studying and just trying to learn the game a lot better. Try to get stronger and then just working on a lot of technique work. I've had the pleasure of working with some really good coaches, Paul Alexander and Duke Manyweather being 2 of them. And I've been, just training with them and just working really hard to be in the best shape for, to one, get here and get drafted, but also now to compete and play.
Is there a little apprehension because you haven't actually played in a game in quite some time?
No, I mean, I'm ready for it. One, this is a game I've been playing for so long too. I mean, I've been working at it for the past, since my last game to one, get back to fully healthy. Then since I've been healthy now for almost a year now, just training to be kind of at my peak and be ready to step in as soon as I can in the mini camp and start going at it. So, I have no concerns about stepping in and playing again.
Awesome. Congrats. Welcome to Jacksonville.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mia. We'll go to Andy Staples and then Mike DiRocco.
So, Walker, for this year, was it just a case of everything being so uncertain? And I know, especially at Stanford, you guys had restrictions on how much you could practice and play. But were you healthy and ready to go for this year? Had it been a normal season? Yeah,
I mean, I was healthy. I was ready to go. I was on campus, training with the team, ready to start our fall season off. And then when the season got canceled, me and our head coach, Coach Shaw, kind of had a conversation and decided that it'd be best for me to just kind of take the next step and leave the uncertainty that was Stanford and was the Pac-12 season and just start preparing for the NFL.
Thank you, Andy. We'll go to Mike DiRocco and then we'll go to Gene Fournette.
Hey, Walker, was it hard not to kind of lose your mind last year when you're trying to get through that and you're just training and you don't have anyone to go up against? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it was just tough not playing. It's been a while. It's the game I love, and it's the game I've been playing since I was a little kid. So not being able to play last year was tough. Having to watch my team play those few games they got in was tough. But I'm excited, and I was able to work at it and put myself in a position to get drafted. And now I'm getting drafted by a team like this, and I'm so excited for it.
What did you do to keep your sanity when you're, what I mean, like on game days, on Saturdays?
Yeah, I mean, on game days, I try to look at it as just kind of being supportive, watching the team. And then any single time I got a chance to watch football, it was just kind of a chance for me to kind of learn, really watch what was going on the offensive side of the ball and watch O-line play and really just try to study the game and able to watch a lot of NFL film and just try to think of it as a progression and give myself goals on kind of amount of film to study each week and just working knowing that, I was trying to get better each and every day and each and every week.
Did the Jaguars talk to you about playing right or left tackle, or just strictly left?
No, I mean they've talked to me about playing either side. I think I'm just a O-line prospect for them that they see as a guy who can play either side and come in and compete. And so that's what we've talked about, and that's what I'm here to do.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, D-Rock. We'll go to Gene Fournette, and then we'll end with Demetrius Harvey.
Hey, Walker, congratulations.
Thank you.
Just curious as to whether you feel any more comfortable on left or right side.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, off the get-go it'd be left just because that's what I played in college. But truthfully, there's not much of a difference for me. And especially, over the past year and a half, as I've been training, I've been working both sides, knowing that the versatility would help me, one, to get drafted, and two, once I am in the league, any team wants a versatile player. So I've been training both sides. I feel comfortable playing either side.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Gene.
Thank you, Gene. We'll finish up with Demetrius Harvey.
Hey, Walker, congratulations. How much did you talk with the Jaguars before you were selected, and sort of was this a surprise for you to be in Jacksonville?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to them a good bit, probably as much, if not more, than any other team. I had a few meetings with their O-line coach, Coach Warhop, and I met with Coach Meyer last week, and I had some meetings with the personnel department as well. And so they're definitely one of the teams I met with more. And so I knew that I had them on my radar as a team with potential. But as with any draft, you never really know what's going to happen. So when it worked out, I was super excited. I felt like I had a pretty good relationship with Coach Warhop, and we were able to discuss a lot of balls. So I feel like I have at least a slight understanding of kind of what to expect coming in.
That's Walker Little, the tackle from Stanford. A live look at the press conference, and he is the pick at 45 overall. He will join that Jaguars offensive line group. Thanks to the Jaguars PR department for the footage there and the questions from the Jaguars media beat. Also at 33, Tyson Campbell, the corner from Georgia, the pick. The 2 second-round picks are in. The Jaguars have a pick at 65 overall in the third round. Continued coverage on Jaguars.com of these 2 picks in the second round, and we'll be back live after that pick at number 65 as well. Our coverage of the 2021 NFL Draft on Jaguars.com on Friday is presented by Bono's Pit Barbecue.